The pursuit, week 5 is complete. We have week 6 tomorrow. Patrick, another big week. How do you feel?
I feel good. It's weird we're already 5 weeks in. Time is flying by. We're improving every single workout, I feel. Um, I feel really good mentally. I think each week I grow mentally, and I'm sure you do too, just from our conversations, just because the workouts are getting harder. Um, but we just stay kind of emotionless and keep pushing through. I will say my body is definitely fatiguing. And we say this every week, just the importance of recovery. And we're taking it seriously. I think it's just the amount of miles that we're running, and just the amount of workouts in the gym. Like it's natural to feel this fatigued. So it's obviously Sunday, and I'm just resting like crazy. I'm going to do some yoga after this, which will help. But all in all, overall, feeling really good. Like a 90 out of 100, I'd say.
Yeah, and then me specifically, like we're going to get more into it, but this week was big for me from a confidence perspective because week 4 was really tough for me. And yeah, fatigue is definitely setting in, and it's cool to like look back at the weeks and how they stack up because we're recording September 29th, tomorrow's the 30th, and after tomorrow's run, this will be the most miles I've ever run in a month, like right around 130. And we also have our biggest week so far coming up with about 36, 38 miles.
Mhm.
So talking a week from today, I'm sure we'll feel hopefully really good about how this week went with the huge amount of miles that we're going to be doing. But uh, yeah, definitely cool to look back over the last month. And I know like we're reflecting on week 5, but just in the span of 4 weeks of September, it's 130 miles done is that's cool. So that's cool to see.
Well,
And
that's why I'm really glad we're videoing all this and recording all this because we can actually look back and see how we were feeling week to week. I've never done anything like that, especially with a challenge like this. So it's really cool to look back and see.
yeah, and it's definitely like even just each day, like when I check off a workout and talking like bringing the emotion out of it, there's definitely days this week where I was like, I really don't want to run. It happened Thursday, it happened Friday. So Thursday was just a 5 mile easy run, but
Kicked my
I,
ass.
yeah, I'd worked out in the morning, and so like that was my 2 a day in the afternoon. Really sucked. And then Friday, I woke up and drove home 7 hours, and I got home and I knew I had to run 4 miles in the afternoon, which again, that sucked. But it's like I've never had a run where after the fact I regretted doing it, which is
Mhm.
like that's a crazy concept to think about. But I really can't think of a run where I'm like, well, I wish I stayed inside and just didn't do it, or I wish I was lazy. I've had bad runs where I felt physically terrible, but it's never like mentally like, oh, I wish I hadn't stepped foot outside, So it's
100%.
in that sense, it was just like I think we're only 5 weeks into this, so the amount of days and the amount of workouts where I'll just have to be like, yeah, you don't really have a choice. You need to do this. Like, even though I don't want to do this, I think those workouts will continue. Like, I'm just anticipating many more days of needing to take emotion out of it as opposed to, oh, I'm so excited to go out and do this. Like it's a long process and we're just stacking brick by brick.
And that part of it, I think, is really growing in both of us. And I've never been this busy with Hyrox, with marathon, with work, with everything that's going on, period. And that emotionless factor is becoming like second nature now. Like I don't really consider anything about how I'm feeling. Like these things need to get done today and we have to do them. So just go ahead and get them done. And I'm really grateful for this process to bring that to me. I'm sure I don't know, is this the most it's happened to you too? Like I literally don't think about how I feel anymore. It's just like everything's getting done.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the most for me. And having a partner to hold me accountable definitely helps just me mentally so much. Where the last 2 marathon preps I've done, like I definitely skipped long runs, or I said, okay, I can take a rest day and just run more later in the week. Whereas this time it's like I haven't done that. Like there's
Hmm.
been workouts where maybe we take weight off or maybe I skip a couple sets, but overall, like what we set out to do is what I'm largely doing. And yeah, it just feels good because I think that that's more a mental side of things than like the physical outcome. And it's definitely cool to see the mental side just continue to like get better.
And it's definitely boosting confidence, right? Just literally not being able to miss a single day. Like thinking once again, like one of these days, God, I don't want to wake up at 5 and run miles, but Tristan's up already and he's doing it. So just this consistency builds confidence, and whoever said that I'm taking that from, it's 100% true, and I'm feeling it in real time right now. So it's a really good feeling. It's hard, don't get us wrong, but it's definitely worth it. I've never felt this good and secure, I don't think, in my life.
Yeah, and it's also so every week when we sit down to record, we spend like before we record, we talk about the upcoming week and we plan what our week will look like because we're kind of following two plans. We have the BPN marathon plan, and then we're just doing workouts from the Represent 247 app. And this week, the BPN marathon plan calls for 32, 33 miles, which is what we've been doing. And it has Wednesday as the off day, Sunday as the off day. And normally we do 247 workouts. Well, actually three. Um, and this week, like we debated back and forth, and we're going with Wednesday, like it's another run day. So we're adding about 5 miles, 6 miles on a tempo day that is not in our marathon plan. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what's causing us to jump up in mileage. But it's like that sort of conversation and like accountability is something that if I was just doing this by myself, one, I probably wouldn't be in the gym, and two, I would take that Wednesday off day. So
Yeah.
um,
And these
definitely
extras
cool.
just really excite me for the end result, for the marathon and for the actual competition. Like I think it's gonna I think it's gonna progress us so much further than we think, or that than we're anticipating. These just like small little extras week per week and just doing everything still. I think it's gonna really play a bigger impact than we're anticipating. Because while we're doing it and while we're planning it, it's just like it's one extra workout, it's a few
Yeah.
extra miles, whatever. But that's going to add up quick, I think, in the end.
Yeah, we're definitely not trying to be stupid with it. Like, if this was a 10-mile run, we wouldn't have done it. But jumping just another like 5 mile day, I view that as like totally doable just from a like injury prevention standpoint.
Hmm.
So it's like workouts that it's extra workouts like those that I definitely think will just compound and like give us the extra leg up come race day.
I agree, 100%.
Good. All right, so you want to jump into highs and lows?
Yeah. Um, my high would be yesterday's long run. It was 13 miles. 13 miles is still the longest I've ever ran, just in one period. But I can tell you, so my average pace for this week's 13 miler was 10 minutes and 11 seconds, I think. And we'll get into Tristan's. He kicked my ass, but my first 13 miler 2 weeks ago was supposed to be 12, but a buddy who I run with in Dallas at 13, so I just ran 13 with him. It was like 10-minute 38 second, I want to say, somewhere around there, average pace. So even just in a week, um, and just continually to do all the right things throughout the week, stretching, functional stuff, continuing to put in miles, like granted, it's all a lot of it's mental, and I can probably push myself a lot further than 10-minute and 10-second per mile pace. But that's a big improvement just for kind of like a natural pace, keeping my heart rate under or around 150. So that's definitely a high for me. I'm proud of that. I think that's an accomplishment, and it's a lot of progression in a short amount of time. So that one felt really good, and I'm just really excited just to keep seeing how much further we can progress throughout this. And before we got on to record, Tristan and I were talking before, like he said, and this is just the start of it for us. Like this is the initial pursuit, is this Hyrox and marathon. Like after this and how we feel after accomplishing these, like this is becoming a lifestyle quickly for me. And I was telling Tristan, this is what I want to do, and this is kind of who I want to be. So I'm just little accomplishments like that go a long way, for confidence and just the journey in general. So that one felt really good. That was definitely the high. And then, bro, I'll tell you, like my lows, I feel like each week they've been the same. It's these slow, easy days.
Yeah.
It's these slow, easy days that are just brutal on the feet and the tibias and the shins. And I think it's a blessing in disguise because it's just forcing me to do proper recovery and proper functional things. Because the easy ones should be easy, but they're not. I mean, every step is like a pulsing, aching pain, and that probably shouldn't be happening right now. Um, so it's a low, but once again, I think it's a blessing in disguise. And, we're just learning more and more about the proper functional movements to do and stretches and everything. And it's because we have some damn painful days. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to touch on what you said about it becoming like who you want to be and like part of the lifestyle you want to live. And I think it's so interesting to think about there's things in life that are considered the infinite games, and fitness is one of those. Sports are not necessarily infinite because once you hang up your cleats, once you put the ball away, like I don't play football anymore. Patrick doesn't play lacrosse anymore. Like we go out and play catch, but we're not on a team. We're not in college. We're not in high school playing. But fitness is something that if you want a high quality of life when you're in your 70s, when you're in your 80s, like you need to be active. And there's not really an end goal. And running is one such sport, and even the Hyrox stuff where it's like the only limit is yourself. So it's truly about how much time and effort you want to put in over the long run. In that sense, it's infinite. So like we were talking before, like after running the Dallas Marathon, am I suddenly going to be like, "Yeah, I'm done running. Like I don't want to do this anymore." I just don't think that's the case. I think there will be a 2025 goal where, hey, I'm going to run this marathon. I'm going for this time, and then there will be a 2026 goal, and there will just be like it's just various iterations of like the next mountain you want to climb. And in that sense, it's like it's truly infinite because it's just based
mhm.
on our own desires, our own commitments, our own like habits we're building. So in that sense, it's really, really cool that we can just keep building and like, yeah, this is truly the beginning. So with that, I'll jump into my highs. So yes, I had a very good half marathon that I am proud of. I went sub 2 hours and it was a pretty comfortable pace for me, which was very surprising. My heart rate, I think the average is like 170, but it was largely lower 160s when I was at my comfortable pace, which was around like 910 to 920 average mile pace. And then I had some faster miles that bumped it up. But legs and feet felt good during that. I just got in a rhythm, like truly was just in the zone. And like, so that's kind of one high. My other high was the 800-meter repeat day we had. And this one was definitely a high for me because I was able to look back at a workout I did in the middle of August, so about 6 weeks ago, and it was cool to see the progression just in that short amount of time. So the workout we did on Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday.
Mhm.
It was a mile warm up and then 800-meter repeats with 1 minute rest in between, and then a mile cool down. So the workout I did 6 weeks ago was, I think it was a mile warm up, but it was 6 800s with 2 minutes rest in between. So two less overall reps and double the rest in between each rep. And my paces were very similar, if not faster, than the one that then they were faster on Tuesday, is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. So it was like, it was super cool to see. And I definitely wanted to quit multiple times during that workout. Like I had to pee, and I was like, I'm just going to pause my watch after the fifth rep and go pee to like get more rest. And then I said that after the sixth one, after the seventh one. And then I finished, and I was so happy I didn't pause my watch because I didn't want that extra advantage of, oh, you got more rest in between each rep. So
And he still
it's,
hasn't peed, guys. He still hasn't peed.
but yeah, so yeah, it really just highs. Like I felt like I performed this week way better than last week, and my confidence grew this week. But again, it's just part of the process where one good day doesn't mean I'm on like the path to excellence. Like one day helps me feel better about myself, but it's still like when I put my head on my pillow to go to sleep and I wake up, I know I still have to go out and do it the next day. But I definitely needed this week as opposed to how I felt after week 4. And I guess if I truly had a low, yeah, I guess that's how I feel now. So I dislocated my ankle when I was in high school, which is now like 7 years ago when I did it. And I had 2 ankle surgeries as a result of that. And I've dealt with pain walking for like a lot since then. And now now it doesn't really hurt to walk, and it really doesn't hurt to run unless I get up I'd say like over 10 miles, I'll like be sore and like hurt to walk the next day. And so yesterday after running the half marathon, like I'm just beat up today and it hurts to walk and I don't think I could run today. So I'm hoping I wake up tomorrow just like fine, which it bothers me the most because like my right side of my body and even my left leg, like there's no soreness, there's no pain. It's literally just my left Achilles, left ankle area that like kind of swells up and causes me issues. But that's just part of something that I've navigated over the years and will continue to navigate. So it's in that sense, my low is not like a real low because this is not like a true injury that's random. I kind of know this happens when I run a certain amount of distance. So yeah, all this to say, I guess my week was really good because I don't really have a huge low. So
Yeah. And with that, like having really good days and really good weeks, I like kind of the way you described it. And I'm going to piggyback it a little bit. And it's basically how I think of it. It's like you can have a really, really good day, be really proud of yourself, hold that with you, help you mentally boost confidence, all that stuff. But then your head hits the pillow and then you wake up at 6 a.m. and it's just restarted. None of that shit counts today. You know, that's kind of the way I think of it, because inevitably you're not going to have the same workout that you did yesterday. You're not going to perform the same. Maybe you perform way better. Maybe you keep growing. Maybe you have a bad day, you know. So I think it's a really cool experience to be doing this because you can either get really humbled on Monday and then Tuesday have the best run of your life and then you're just back to reality Wednesday. So it just keeps me emotionless. I mean, that's kind of the message and that I keep bringing to the table for this, but it's just like you just put the reps in brick by brick and you know, it's going to stack inevitably in your favor just because we're putting the work in, but yeah, every day is a new day. Like you can't just keep, you know, hold credit for weeks prior or days prior because at 6 a.m. or whenever the workout is, you got to do something new, which is cool
yeah,
to me.
I think it's also how we're kind of tracking time. So we're tracking time in like the daily with okay, this is Monday's workout, this is Tuesday's workout, and then we're meeting weekly to reflect on the
Mm-hmm.
past week. So in that sense, we have a weekly view of it. But then since we have these weekly videos, we can go back and reflect like over the course of the month. And yeah, it's just really cool to like running and fitness is just something that if you zoom in, you can't really see progress. But if you zoom out and you're
Mm-hmm.
consistent, like it's so evident how much progress you've had. So yeah, like being in a marathon block, being in this like training cycle for Hyrox is just so cool to see week to week. And I know me personally, like getting into next week, we have a 12-mile long run, so a little shorter than this half marathon we ran yesterday. And it's just, I'm hoping I can have a good long run. I don't think I've had two good long runs back to back this whole time. So, like, that's just the focus I have next week. And it's from there, it'll be whatever the following week's goal is. So, yeah, it's just exciting.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this week. Next week's interesting. Do we want to run them through what we got?
Yeah. Yeah. So, we kind of already talked about it, how we're adding about 5, 6 miles of running to get us to 36 or 38 miles on the week. But our daily standard for an easy run is 5 miles. We have that Monday and Thursday. Tuesday's a tempo day where it's going to be hard. And off the top of my head, I believe it was a mile warm up, 3 miles at marathon pace, which
Mm-hmm.
still undecided what it'll be for me. So,
Same, same.
so that'll be exciting. And then you rest for 2 minutes. And then we have 2 mile repeats with 90 seconds in between, which for that, I'm probably just going to rip it and try and hold on. And then a mile cool down. So that's a 7 mile tempo run on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have that 247 tempo run where it's a ladder where you start at 200 meters, you go up to 400, go up to 800, go up to 1200, go up to 1600, and then come all the way back down. And Friday is a 4 mile easy run. Then Saturday is the 12-mile long run. And
Did
then
you say
we're
the
going to
leg day?
no, I was just about
Oh,
to.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my
And
bad.
then in the gym, we have 2 days where one day is a leg day. It's following the normal pattern where it's like a lot of squats, a lot of volume, like 150 wall balls this week, which is just going to kill us. And then the other true workout is a push day where stuff like push press and stuff like that, but at a circuit level. So you're constantly moving. So in that sense, like probably looking at 2 to 3 hours in the gym and then like 38, 36 miles on the trails and on the pavement. So big week, exciting week. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gritty. We're growing mentally, physically, obviously. Things just seem like they're coming together more and more with each workout and each week. So I know I said it, but I'm just super excited. I'm proud of us for how far we've been, how far we've come so far, and just how consistent and dedicated we've been. Like, we really have not missed a single workout. Like Tristan said, sometimes we got to lighten the weight or we got to do one less set, but we are doing every single thing we can to get better and not compete, not training to just like compete or to win. Like, we are training to be the best people that we can be and to dominate as much as we can.
I think we just ended on that. Week 5
Yeah,
complete. We're kicking off week 6 tomorrow. The pursuit is ongoing, but another week done. Let's go.
let's go.